flying, flying, flying.
Hello. I'm working on a mix here. These are stems again that I've downloaded from the Cambridge MT site that I've talked about before. And I'm at a stage where I want to start referencing it to tweak to get, you know, the finer points dialed in now. And I've kind of come up with this system that I use for referencing my tracks. What I've done, I have created a folder track and saved it as a template. So what I can do is if I right click down here and to insert track from template, you can also go to insert track from template up here. Okay, so I've got it down here as reference tracks. I've got another one. You can save as many different types of these as you want. You can collect, you know, different genres and save them as template tracks that you can call up whenever you want. So if I call up this one, so one important point to mention is I have the mix set up. If you ignore this now that I've just placed in, I've got everything ending up in this submix. I mean, this is only really important if you use effects on your master bus, which I do. But instead of having them on the master bus, because at the end of the day the reference tracks have got to run through the master bus, and if you've got effects on there it's going to change how they sound, and I want to hear them in the raw state. So I put in a submix envelope track here that kind of encapsulates everything underneath it. Place the reference tracks above that so that they're a separate entity, so they go to the master track direct. Everything else goes through this submix track, on which I have my effects that I use, limiters, etc, etc. Okay, so as you can see, it's a folder track that I've created and saved as a template. If we open it up, you've seen all these tracks. These actually I came recommended, I think it was Sound on Sound, from like top engineers and their recommendations for good quality reference tracks. A couple I've added myself, but you know, I'll go through that process as well. So with this track, let me just give you a little listen to what I've got going on.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So as you can hear, it's a bit of an acousticy country and western kind of thing almost. So what I can do is, I don't think in here I've got anything that's really kind of appropriate. So what I usually do is, let's click somewhere in here and we can Control T to insert a track, and it'll insert the track underneath the selected one. So we've got an empty track within this folder, my reference track folder. And then if we open up Media Explorer, we can go through. If I open this up, this is already in where I keep a lot of my music, or for this kind of purpose. I had in mind, if I can find them, James Taylor, where are we here? Might be a good comparison, and Sweet Baby James might actually be the baby. So let's just pull this in, and I can place it on that empty track that I had there. Now I'm going to mute it, because what I'm going to do is, if I right click up here on the envelope track and save track as template, I'm going to show you how I save these, because there's one little point that you need to know. So we click on that, I'm going to save it as reference tracks and replace, but you can name it whatever you want if you're using genres, blah blah blah. But one important thing is to include track items in template. So you've got to tick this box. Now it doesn't save it in this folder, but what it does is it saves a reference to wherever they are on your hard drives. Hard drive, or hard drives in my case. What's important to remember is, if you move any of these files from where they they are on your hard drive at the moment, then your reference track folder won't be able to find them again, so you'll have to reconnect. You know, that's just one thing to bear in mind. Okay, so if we save that, and it's going to say, do you want to replace it? I'm going to say yes. So as you add to your reference templates, you can, you know, do this, save it, you know, and replace them. So there we have it. So we've got where did it go now? Sweet Baby James, here we are. Okay, now what I do is I unmute that track in here, so then that means I can close this down, and when I press solo my mic's going to go off, so we'll go with that. So with that unmuted in here, I've got the folder track muted. I can fold this up so I know I've got my reference track selected within there. I can listen to my mix, so if we play that. Now, as I said, my microphone's going to go off when I press the solo button, so, but you'll see what happens. When I press the solo button, it's going to switch over to my reference track. So if I press solo,
and all of his only companions.
there you had it. You had my reference track. And that's all you've got to do. You can switch backwards and forwards, finesse your mix, and use a reference track as you will. So I hope that was useful, and I hope it's something you can use in your own mixes, and I'll see you in the next one.
Flying, flying.